another episode of Better Than Yesterday. Today I'm joined by two very special guests, the owners and co-founders of Art of Passion Apparel. Give yourselves a little introduction there.
Yes sir, yes sir. Thank you very much for having us. My name is Mufaro, a.k.a. Riskyy. On Instagram, it's Don't Risky, you know. I'm part of AOPA and I'm here with my main man.
I'm Gerald Dube, also on my social media handle it's Gerald Dube _ same thing, just sharing my passion on the socials. So I'm the founder of Art of Passion Apparel. Riskyy is also one of the partners of the brand.
Lovely stuff.
Yeah, so yeah.
Wonderful, yeah. So Better Than Yesterday, we just like to get on, young people who are, making steps and pushing forward every day. That's the sort of idea behind our channel, is just constantly working to be the best version of yourself every day, trying to be better than who you were yesterday. And that's why we wanted to get you guys on, people who we think can be of inspiration to young people who, maybe haven't got there yet, but you guys are, making those steps already. And I love what you guys are doing with the brand. Some lovely stuff here we got on display. I was looking on the website. I just wanted to ask you guys first question. I see your catchphrase there is sui generis. What does that mean to you guys?
He actually came up with it, and we also had the same question when he came up with it. But you should explain this.
So I didn't really come up with the word per se, because it's the word sui generis. It's Latin, which means unique in Latin. But the brand's motto is based around sui generis. Because if you go in the dictionary and look for sui generis, I'm just going to paraphrase it, so don't quote me for exactly.
Sure.
Yeah, it's literally going to say what we took from there. It's of your own, in your class, therefore unique. So that's what the brand's motto. And what that means basically is just saying you actually, you're of your own. Mike, you're of your own, even if you have an identical twin. They're not going to call you your identical twin will have a different name, right? Exactly. So
we each have that something that makes us different.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's of your own. That's you. You're of your own DNA, right? And then once you know that, you acknowledge that I'm of my own. I'm unique in that aspect of myself. Then we switch on now to in your class, which is your life. Okay, basically. But basically, it's your life, right? But at the end of the day, as humans, we're supposed to evolve, right? You've given birth, they grow, 2 months old, 1 year, same thing. It's like when you're pursuing something.
It's true.
You gotta keep on evolving. So the brand is all about uniqueness, constant self-growth, pushing yourself to grow in your own class, so you're not competing with other people.
Yes.
Right, you compete,
and that's very important.
Exactly.
You don't have to compete with anybody. You just have to kind of think and figure out what is it that you really like, and what is it that you want, and then you take it from there.
Love to hear it. Yeah, that links so nicely with what we do, because I think that was one of the ideas behind this channel was actually a quote from Jordan Peterson. I don't know if you guys know him, but what he says is compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who other people are today.
Yes.
So very similar thing. That's almost the whole motto of what we stand for on this channel as well. So I'd love to hear it. And I just want to ask you guys, what inspired you guys necessarily to start a clothing brand? What do you feel that you could provide to the fashion industry?
One, high quality products basically. But the brand is also about the name Art of Passion. Passion is a huge thing, right? If you add passion as an ingredient into someone's talent or craftsmanship, it just sparks up.
Amen.
There's just something about it, right?
Yeah.
So the art of passion. So basically, the clothing that we make, we are more focused on bringing high quality end product, but at the same time, it's more of representing people's passion. Like when you wear the brand, you'll be like, passionate.
You can literally do anything on the brand.
Yeah, because
there's fit for the gym, then there's fit for if you want to go out on a date with a girl or something like that. Then there's fit for, let's say, you want to go somewhere and you really want to look good. There's outfit for everything. It just doesn't only range into let's say, it's for sport or it's casual. It's literally all around.
Yeah.
All around, yeah.
That's true.
But for me, I don't think like. What was the question again? Just ask me the question again.
Just like, what inspired you to start a clothing brand? You know, of all the things you could have gone into, you know, with passion. What was it? What was about the clothing brand that you wanted to?
Sorry, now answer the question. Just ran
on my side, I was inspired by him because he was already doing this when we met up and we started this to do. When we started doing it together, he was already in it. I was just inspired about how passionate he was about the brand and the vision and the goals that he had, and it sort of aligned with what I was doing at that time, and we're here right now.
That's it, man.
So
I mean, fashion's a very interesting thing. I was speaking to you earlier just about like all the things that go into it. There's constant like trends and things that are changing in the industry. So yeah, it's a very, very interesting thing to go into. And I think you guys are gonna soon become definitely the go-to here in Cape Town. If not already, then it's coming up. It's coming up. So yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So who would you say is like the target audience then for, or the target market for Art of Passion Apparel?
Okay.
Who is it for?
This brand, it's not really for. I can say it's locked in to say this is the target audience.
Amen.
Yes, there's going to be a specific audience which is going to relate to other specific people, right? But the way how the brand started, to answer your question, how the brand came, how I was inspired to start the brand because of my passion, which was to fitness. So I wanted something to represent my passion, which is fitness. So that's how the brand started, Art of Passion. That's where the name came.
That's it.
So to answer that question. Then to answer this second question, the brand represents the same thing, that same concept. Anybody who's passionate about something, that's what the brand represents. So that's the thing about passion. Going back to passion, passion it's for anybody. It's everybody has it.
Yes, exactly. You just gotta find
He
it.
doesn't have a target audience.
He doesn't have a target.
Exactly, yeah.
Everybody has it.
Amen.
In a sense. So yes, you can say it's targeted for those who are passionate about their craft. If you really want to hone it down or focus, right? You can say the brand is literally for people who are passionate about the craft or whatever they're doing, right?
Yeah, they know what they're into.
Yeah, but you can get also somebody who's not really into, like, let's just say, who's not like into sports or whatever. They're just passionate about living life, in a sense. So that also, the brand also represents that specific person. So I can say it's for everybody.
Your grandma, your mom, your dad, your uncle, anyone can rock it, and it still looks good. That's the most important about me.
Yeah.
When I decided to join this, I was like, yo, bro, I really like this, and I like what you're doing, and designing clothes that I can literally wear like on the streets. Because most people design clothes, but you know, like you said, the quality is not there. You can't. It's not in fashion. Mainly, we want it to be in fashion and bring out what we think is fashion instead of following other trends that other people already made money from. How about we just started our own fashion?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, you can't just like look at what's already there and then try and imitate that. So I like that you guys have gone for something new, and there's like very different like styles. I like that there's like plain stuff and also like very colorful stuff that you guys have got there.
For the colorful ones.
Yeah, they're always out there. Yeah, so just to get a little background on like the two of you growing up, like the men behind the brand, like what was it like? What was your background as a growing up?
Yeah, the background. My background, what exactly about my background do you want to know?
So like, where did you grow up? Do you have a good childhood? Yeah.
So growing up, I grew up in Zim. I'm originally from Zimbabwe. I grew up there. So siblings, I've got 3 siblings. So I'm literally best of both worlds.
In between.
Yeah, I'm firstborn and lastborn at the same time. So I'm a firstborn on my dad's side. Okay, and then my dad's got 2 children. Okay. So I'm the firstborn, and then I've got a little brother. Okay, his name is Junior also. Junior. But and then I've got on the last born side, which is my mother's side. I'm the last born. I've got 2 sisters, Pamela and Melissa. So they're ahead of me. Pamela's the oldest one, then it's Melissa. So I can say in total there are like 5.
That's quite a unique situation there.
Yeah, it's quite unique. But I didn't grow up with them all, so it was all kind of. I grew up with them in time, like different times. Some were when I was a little bit older, the other one when I was a little bit young. But I grew up. Then Melissa, I think Melissa didn't stay with her for long. Yeah, but yeah. And then in terms of like growing up, I went to Greystone Park Primary School. Then I also went to I first went to Alfred Bates School. That was my primary. Then Greystone Park, and then moved to.
This is Greystone Park in Zim. For those
who
don't know, this is Zim.
I'm sure a few people know what you're talking about then.
Yeah. And then I went to high school. Then the high school they took me to the trenches. They took me to a 7-day boarding school. So I went to a boarding high school. And then from there, Then from there, that's when the bands. From there, after school, that's when I started focusing on sports, sports and training. And that's how the brand started from there.
That's awesome. That's great. How about you, Risky?
That's crazy, man. I'm sorry, I just have a question for him, man. Just growing up in the boarding school and stuff like that. How was that? Because I always wanted to go to a boarding school, but I never got the opportunity to.
So the boarding school,
how does that compared to like day-to-day like school?
I feel like it's the same as living life now, because they teaches you at an age to be independent.
Yeah.
Because you don't have your parents to iron your shirt for you, make breakfast for you.
Yeah.
Yes, we do go for breakfast, right? But you're gonna have to eat at a scheduled time.
At a scheduled time.
It's different like when your mom is there, you're like, Mom, can I just have a sandwich? Fix you up a quick sandwich. So there's nothing like that day in boarding school.
Yeah.
You learn to be independent at an age.
Yeah, you grow up quickly.
Yeah, exactly.
I always wanted to go to a boarding school.
Yeah. And that literally helped me to become independent also. So I think that's the major difference. Independence. I think that's the main thing.
That it taught you. That's cool. That's cool. Well, for me, I did my primary in Zim. I'm a second born, first of all, from my bigger brother. I did my primary in Zim. Then, when I finished my primary, I came to SA to start my high school. I went to Omaha in Cape Town, CBD. Man, it was an experience. I mean, coming from Zim and starting school this side, but it was a great experience that I wouldn't trade for anything else. Ever since then I've been here in Cape Town, man, trying to do both this fashion and music. I would say that's my upbringing. I don't have anything interesting like that, you know what I mean? I've just been here.
That's it, man. Yeah. So what was like some challenges would you say of like moving to a new country initially?
Definitely cultural shocks.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like things, we do things. I still remember, bro, like my first day at school, I still remember my first day at school here. I went in, right? Mind you, that time, I didn't know anything. I didn't know Afrikaans, and this was the African school, so I got into this school. First class, first period, it was Afrikaans, bro. Bro,
how was your English even at that point?
My English was bad. My English is still bad now. But like then it was bad. It was really, really bad. But I could, communicate.
Yeah.
I could communicate. So we went into this Afrikaans class. I had this Afrikaans teacher. Oh my God, I forgot his name. But yeah, I still remember being in that class, Brian, being so lost. You know, like people are speaking and I couldn't even hear anything. And also even the way I was dressed. Because of that's when fashion is very crazy. When you move into different countries, you see people really dress differently. Because I still remember back then in Zim, it was a thing of having like chase shoes. You know chase shoes, right? For having chase shoes and going to school with chase shoes. So I went shopping for my school uniform and my mom bought me chase shoes, and I was happy. You know, I'm thinking, come on, I'm gonna look good on my first day with these chase shoes. I went in there, bro. Everybody's rocking tatties, bro. People, they're looking at me like, yo,
what's up with this,
bro?
I was a pair of tatties back in the day.
Yeah, no.
They call me the Builder's Warehouse shoes.
I had to go back home and tell my mom, like, yo, mom, listen, I know, I understand, like, things is rough. Can you please buy me a pair of tatties? And at least she made a plan. The next day, I was sorted, man. I could at least fit in a little bit. But it was a good experience, man. I like it. You know, I got to meet a lot of people from all walks of life, and I'm thankful for that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, the culture shock. Yeah, definitely. That's a big one because you're so used to being which or in your own culture, right?
Facts.
And then you just all of a sudden you switch. It's literally like
the way people talk,
the way people talk,
what they eat, what they like,
exactly.
The music, bro, everything.
Sure.
Is different. But I think also, as much as like we are all different in the cultural way and everything, it's so beautiful also in the day when you actually like now get to, like, for instance, if I get to find out like, okay, why do they do that?
Yeah.
You understand specific things. Then you get to see, oh flip, okay, so this is really why, so why they do this, and then that's when you get to see the beauty of it. So yeah.
But in terms of challenges, really, man, I don't think I had any like bad experiences or like bad challenges.
That's good, yeah.
Like everything was pretty good. I did normal high school life.
That's great.
Like
I also didn't have any.
So
maybe finance might have been the challenge, but
Always,
I was too young to notice that. You know, I was popping, so I didn't really. After high school, that's when I really like started noticing like, whoa, you really need money to live in this place and like to move and to do things that you really want.
Yeah.
But other than that, we've been good.
That's interesting to hear that the background for both you guys. So we're speaking a bit about like passion and all that kind of stuff. So I want to ask, like, when did you guys find your passion and how long did it take? Because I know some young people sometimes feel a bit like they're directionless, you know, they maybe haven't found that thing that like really excites them yet.
Yeah.
They're like going, I mean, I remember being in a space like that. Thankfully, I thought, you know, I'm in a very good space now, but like maybe beginning of high school as well, you know, you're sort of just going about everything day by day. So yeah, like what would you say, like how did you find your passion and how long did it take you guys?
For me personally, I found my passion back in Zim. Because that time, before I found my passion, you know, like when it comes to like environment, right? They say your environment makes you. The environment that surrounds you makes you, right? Or you end up adapting to that environment. So at that time, I wasn't being productive. So my environment at that time wasn't nurturing in terms of like productivity.
Exactly.
So I was just idle, I wasn't doing anything. So it got to the point where I was like, no, I actually need to be productive. And then one of my friends actually got me into training. And said, okay, let's start training and see if you like it or not. You know, so we went the first week. You know how it is when you start training. It's always
we all been there.
You know, rough. You know, you don't want to go the next day and everything. But after that's week or two of getting in that groove, I slowly started to liking it, loving it, and then from there, this is in 2013, that's when I actually started my fitness journey, which led to my passion. So once I got into that groove, it was actually crazy because the way we used to train, it was you go in the morning.
Yeah.
You know, it's different from like here. Now it's actually like dope. You can actually get into my city if you don't have a car, then go to the gym. That time we woke up in the morning, 6 a.m. Then we have to walk like
to the gym,
and it's like flipping
get your cardio in already.
Yes, sir.
You know, and then you train, then you walk back home, then afterwards, then you relax. But then in the evening, then you go and play soccer or whatever, just to have fun.
Yeah.
So since 2013, so me, my thing, I discovered it in 2013. Then ever since then, we're now in 2023. I'm a full-time personal trainer.
Beautiful.
We've got this brand that we're running, so yeah.
That's awesome.
For me, man, my passion has always been music. I honestly thought that I was going to be a famous rapper one day, but those dreams are to die.
It's still coming.
Those dreams are to die. But I'm still in the music industry.
That's awesome.
My passion is music, basically. So I realized that what I needed to do is find what I can do in music, since I know and I understand that like I'm not talented enough, or my songs. For me, it was like that thing. Like sometimes you just gotta be real with yourself, right? You want to do this music thing. Is it really working? Are people receiving it? Can you really live off that? Because at the end of the day, you need to do something that's gonna make you, I don't know, reach where you want to be and do it comfortably, right? It's not even about the money. Because if you're passionate about something, I wouldn't say it's about the money, but you still want to do something that will make you do your passion and live off it some sort of way. So I was like, okay, cool. What can I do? I started just starting the music business. and I did a little bit of online course on the music business. I've been around. I had been going out and doing gigs, so I had connections around. And now there's an artist that I'm working with. We are about to put out some fire.
What's the name of the artist?
Should I mention him?
It's up to you.
Man.
Yeah, we're gonna get him on in sometime in the future. Stay tuned.
The boy is so talented. His name is EZA, the official EZA on his socials. We're just working, you know. We trying to build up something with him for now. So busy with the music and with the fashion. That's been it. But music it's been my passion, and I think I figured that out when I was pretty young, man. Because since high school, bro, I've been doing music, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Awesome.
I've been doing music since high school. I got to a point where like other doors were even opened by music that I didn't think that like can be opened by music.
Sure.
Coming from where I'm coming from, mind you, bro, I'm just an immigrant guy that didn't know much. You know what I'm saying? Coming to SA, but music has been my passion then.
So, just sort of catch up, but you with music, right? Since it's your passion, I want to figure like since when exactly did you like say okay, fuck music? This is
my vibe.
This is
Probably when I was like young, bro, because ever since then, bro, I haven't stopped. You know what I'm saying? I have tried to stop making music myself, but I always found myself in the business. You know, there was a point in time when I was like, man, I'm done with this music. It's not bringing me money or anything. I'm not getting gigs. I'm not even putting out the music that I want to. But like, I just end up with people that are doing music and be like, yo, bro, can you help us do this? Can you help us produce this song? Can you help us market this song? Can you help us? So I was like, nah.
Yeah.
I love this and I love helping people, so
yeah.
I'm going to help people make great music. I'm going to find people that can make great music and help them put out their music, because I understand the challenges that you do face as an artist, especially if you don't have finance. Yeah. There's a whole lot of challenges that are there. Sometimes you really need a team to help you go somewhere, you know. So I decided to be that team for other people, and do you know what I'm noticing now? My passion is actually helping other people and music, but music is the core of it. Exactly. I think that makes it easy for me working in music, because I just feel like I have to do it.
You see, so it doesn't necessarily mean, so to me, basically, judge it based from what you just said, you don't necessarily have to be the rapper.
No, you don't have to be the rapper to be in music. There's a whole lot of things that you can do. You don't even have to be an artist manager like I'm doing now. You can work for like Sony. You can do A&R. You can do a lot of things, bro. You can do marketing, solely just marketing for music. You can do maybe photography, you know, and still do it in music. You can do videography in music. That means you're in music, but you just love that aspect of it.
As long as there's music.
I see. Yeah. Well, I noticed about like both of you guys. I mean, even yourself, and with passion and purpose in general. You know, what comes from that is like when you start to help other people. You know, if you're just living for yourself, like there's not much meaning in that. Yeah. But I mean, what you're doing, personal like training and that kind of stuff. You know, you're helping other people. You know, to become like healthier, fitter, all these kind of things. You know, you're helping other people with their like career and that kind of stuff. So that's where you sort of found that like meaning.
Yeah.
And that's what we're all looking for in life. That's what like I think a big part of your passion is. Yeah.
That's true.
Leads very nicely into my next question. Actually, we've actually made a video on this channel. We haven't actually spoken about passion necessarily before, but we made a video talking all about like, you know, in pursuit of purpose and like searching about that. So would you say there's a difference between like your passion and then your purpose?
How do you find your purpose, right? That's the question. Like, you know, sorry to cut you, but I feel like with purpose, you can find things that can give you purpose for a certain time. But like your life's purpose, how do you find that?
I think you explained how you find it, because you already explained how you found yours. You see, yours was more core music, like music, right? So for you to discover that, okay, music, this is my thing, this is my passion. Like life, something that you can do for the rest of your life. That's what we are describing passion. You found that since starting from when you were still a kid, like, oh, you love music. Yeah. And then when you grew up, you went through those phases, and then you eventually
trials and tribulations.
I like that. You said trials and tribulations, but I like the fact that you actually say you know, when you stop doing something, like let's say you're passionate about something, you're not okay. Besides, let me not say passionate first. You do something, right, and then you stop. But there's something that keeps on pulling you back to keep on doing that. There's something that's paraphrasing what you said.
Sure.
So it keeps on bringing you back to that thing, that same thing. That's the passion. With purpose, I don't think, does purpose bring you back also to that?
Sometimes not. I think a lot of people sometimes neglect their purpose. You know, you can see that in people's lives where they maybe have a calling, but they don't like live up to that calling. You know. So yeah, that's sort of the question is like, what's that difference between the two?
Yeah, that's the question.
That's a good question.
That's the question. We need comments.
Well,
Sure.
how do you answer that?
No, I would say there's definitely a difference because like you say, I think passion is almost what makes you feel alive there. You know, when you're like training people and when you're in the gym, like that's what makes you like really feel like happy. And for yourself, it's like in music. You know, for myself, I enjoy doing stuff like this. You know, I think for myself, it's also helping people. You know, like being in positions of like leadership and influence. I find like I really like enjoy that kind of thing. And whereas purpose, I would say sometimes, you know, some I've heard a situation like with politicians and that kind of stuff, where they you know, maybe like these people in history who had amazing influence and power, but they didn't actually like enjoy doing what they were doing. You know, maybe like these great leaders who were like did amazing things back in the past, led their countries through difficult times or whatever, but they didn't really like want to be in that position. You know, but that was like their purpose. You know, but they weren't necessarily passionate about that. They would probably have preferred like a nice quiet life. You know, so, I think it can be different in those situations. But if your passion and your purpose can align, then you got to find a way to maybe do that, because that's when you can probably really like, in the stratosphere.
And I also think that like with purpose, just living life, you end up finding your purpose. You end up finding your purpose. If you're a person that has self-care and you care about yourself and you're into something and you're working towards something, you will find your purpose. You will find what makes you happy at the end.
Yeah, it takes time, but
it takes time for everybody, bro. Because even for us, bro, we're still going. We don't know what's going to happen in the next. Obviously, we have an assumption of what we want to do in the next 10 years, but we don't really know for certain what's going to happen in the next 10 years.
So I wanted to ask you guys as well. Starting a business here in Cape Town, how did you guys go about sort of like sourcing materials for the clothing and finding people to work with? Like, how was the environment here in Cape Town for starting a business, specifically in fashion, let's say?
Hard, man. Hard. It's trials and tribulations, I say, bro. But once again, tell them the journey, bro. Tell them some of the people that we've worked with that have let us down, and some that have helped.
You know, it's like you say, it's very hard. There's ups and downs. You know, the trials, tribulations. It's challenging. So starting off, obviously now, it's just like starting up any business or anything that you want to start off or do. You just first have to research on it. The good thing, fashion, I'm pretty sure everybody's got a small understanding about fashion. You always see fashion on TV. So you get to see, okay, you know where you want to go, right? But normally, the challenges that we had is that we're facing was more of like, let's just say, because since we're starting off, we don't have like, for instance, somebody that works for us in terms of like it's a tailor. We have to partner with tailors, or you understand, and then we give them our specific designs that we have come up with. Then we try them out, right? So then obviously, let's just say, hypothetically speaking, they do the samples properly. Then we'll be like, okay, it's fine. We're gonna work with you. We're gonna work together. Then we have a partnership, right? Then maybe let's just say 2-3 months down the line, the delivery now becomes rocky. Like, let's just say maybe we're supposed to, for example, deliver a specific batch of orders for, let's just say, 10 t-shirts, just to make example, in the next 2 weeks, and then it ends up being the tailor ends up taking up long.
More than 2 weeks, and just mind you, we've got a deadline. Probably sometimes we're working with other people that have placed their orders through us,
and the clients are complaining to you, but it's not really your.
I guess that's the other thing. We just don't do our own apparel, and we also like help other people like tailor their stuff, design their stuff if they want. So.
So awesome. custom, we do a customized you call orders.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's all. And the other thing is that maybe the tailor won't even like communicate like, yo, look, I'm actually under pressure. This is what's going on. You know, just communication.
Yeah.
In any relationship, communication is key. So just small things like that actually affect the business's reputation, especially when you're starting up. Even when you're also big, I feel like you and the company, the client or the customer, they're supposed to be like a smooth flow of communication.
Whether
there's delay of the order or whatever, but it just hasn't. It has to be at minimum, if that makes sense. Because I can't keep on saying to the clients, yo,
you have to wait for this.
You have to keep on waiting. You have to keep on waiting. That's
even if we have orders for ourselves now, it looks like we're unprofessional or like we don't have stock or what's happening. But obviously, we know that we depending on this tailor, but this tailors, they're not really. If there's any tailor out there that would like to work with AOPA, all we're saying is comment down below and Mike who passes the information. That we can have some sort of partnership, because you need to be reliable in any business, right?
Yeah. So talking about tailors also, the other thing that you were saying, if there's any tailors, also we are going to start also linking up with designers. Let's just you just come out of school, you want to try something out, or you just feel like, okay, I relate to this brand, I want to be part of this brand, or want to do a specific collection. Okay, for example, we are welcome to work with you.
Yeah.
That's what we're about.
Collaboration. That's awesome. And like about funding, like materials and that kind of stuff. Like, was it quite easy to get hold of that kind of stuff? You know, cottons, polyesters, all of that. So, like, where do you get hold of that?
That's another thing. You have to go up and down.
Yeah.
You have to go up and down.
Before we were sewing and tailor making our own, you know, remember that batch we got from China?
So we got a first batch. Yay, my G. That was crazy. That's also part of the trials.
The trials. The trials.
We're gonna name this. We're gonna name the podcast "Trials and Tribulations."
That was something else. But obviously, you learn something when you go through every trial. You know, there's always.
Because you know what's crazy. When you order it online, right? When you see it, they give you pictures, like they show you pictures where you actually, whoa, this is dope. It looks
so good. And these days, bro, with iPhones and these 4K, 8K, the item will look so quality on the picture.
Until you get it, then you feel it, then you're like, whoa, what's this? And so it's crazy, but I think it was also more of the person that I dealt with, because there are big big brands or companies that source most of the things from China.
Yeah,
it's just a matter of knowing. In a sense, so we also didn't know. So maybe that's also one of the things that also made it downfall. But local is like
local is like ever since then, bro, we everything from the material to everything, bro. We do it here. We work with local guys, and it's just to also just keep the money around.
Exactly. Yeah. Instead of shipping it up to China, like rather keep it in here. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. So on the next thing, I just wanted to ask about is like marketing. Like, how did you guys go about marketing for the brand? Because what's interesting with entrepreneurship is like there's so many skills that you have to have. So you had to start learning about like fashion, and then getting like all these different products, and then there's the creativity side of making the designs. But to hone in on that side of marketing, how did you guys go about doing that, like spreading the word? Because you can have this amazing brand, but if no one knows about it, what's the point?
Social media, man. First of all, we started with social media, right? We just started with online, but after that, we wanted to be where the people are. So we still do that. We still look for pop-up stores. So we would go into different kind of pop-up stores. Go on Google, search where can you market? Yeah, where can you find a marketplace? You know what I'm saying? We applied on a lot of marketplaces. We did a couple of pop-ups, but social media mainly has been our advertising channel.
Sure.
We just obviously try to be creative. Come up with content, shoot nice content. If you go on our Instagram, Facebook,
it's looking very good then.
Yeah, you'll see the type of content that we've been trying to build up just to build brand awareness.
Even on YouTube, you guys
Even
are
on
doing
YouTube.
some stuff.
Yes. So, but other than that, you know, it's very expensive to do like in-person marketing, you know. But I mean, we'll get there. Having a store, I think, will be one thing because you can literally advertise like as outside your store, you know, and that's like free marketing for yourself. Or maybe if the bag is there, you can do billboards. You know, if there's somebody that wants to do a billboard with us, you know, we can do a nice billboard called AOPA. But I think online has been the main platform we've been marketing our product.
Yeah, for sure. Like social media, huge part.
Yeah.
Huge part. But the good thing also, I like one thing which I also know about the markets, right? Every time it's so amazing, like when like you go out and then for the people who actually get to see the products.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, everybody always reacts like.
And you can see their reaction.
Yeah, it's so like, oh, you know, like it's so amazing when you've created something from scratch. Obviously, you're gonna think of the design, whatever, from scratch, and then it gets made. Once it's made, then you take it out there now. Then people get to see your final product. Yeah, it's been good, man. It's been good.
And shout out to everybody, bro, that's been supporting us.
For sure.
And a lot of people, there's other people that have really like just pitched up to support from nowhere and be like, yo, I really see what you guys are doing.
Yeah,
thank you guys.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if they'll be happy if we mention their names here, but they're anonymous, so we'll keep them like that. But thank you to everybody that have lent a helping hand.
Yeah, we've had a lot of beautiful individuals who actually, like he said, helped out just because of just seeing the vision and seeing where we want to go. You know, and then they're just like, okay, guys, we're there for you. Yeah, just give a helping hand, which goes a long way, you know. Yeah, shout out to those guys again one more time.
There was a question that you asked that I feel like we might need to answer it also like on another way, just to give a broader view on people that would like to come into fashion. Maybe you asked how did we start? Like, what are the things that we really needed to start, right?
100%.
For anybody that wants to start a clothing brand or an apparel brand, what is it that you think that they should have?
What is it?
What is it? Like in terms of equipment, probably connections.
Yeah, definitely knowing people also. Networking is very vital, whether it's in fashion or whatever.
Yeah.
Network is I feel like, you know, it's because you never know who you're going to talk to. Maybe that person, maybe you know somebody who's going to link me up to be able to sort out my website. You understand? So
networking.
You understand? Networking is very vital.
Just making relationships.
Exactly.
Taking opportunities.
Yeah. So that one applies. Like I can say that's like one of the first things that you need to do to make sure it's always there. Because whether any type of business, that helps, right? But to answer that specific question in terms of like fashion, if you're a designer, it depends. Okay, are you someone like me? I didn't go to fashion school, right? I'm more of I get inspiration from fashion designers. Then I just put up something together, and then the design comes out, right? Then you get people who actually went to fashion, who studied fashion. They actually draw, you understand? Then they do the sketches, then put on the computer and everything. So maybe you definitely need to have a sewing machine. Yeah. If you don't have a sewing machine, you can outsource. You understand? So, like I said, that's the first thing for somebody who's a fashion designer. So it also goes. I think it also depends. What exactly?
But no, that's important because you might not be a fashion designer, but you want to start a brand. Now you have an idea of like, oh yeah, I need to find a fashion designer. Yeah, sewing machine. So that information is very valuable to people. Yeah. But I think also it comes also like where are you a fashion designer? Like that's why I was giving the example. Like, I didn't go to school for that, right? So I don't necessarily need to get a sewing machine. I can outsource the fashion designer. But if it's a fashion designer who went to school, they don't need to. They just need to get the sewing machine, then they just do sew the patterns and
So I've seen a couple of you guys also done some interviews actually with people on your YouTube channel, and like guys like Shay Best, Kaleto Watau. So like, what did you guys learn from them, and like, who is your favorite person to maybe
homework, Brian.
work with?
Shane Benz and Kellen. Yeah, you what you say?
And just like, who is your favorite person to work with there? What did you guys maybe learn from them, having those conversations with them about their passions?
Yeah, you know, learning from them, what I really picked up, what they have in common.
Yeah.
You know what? I think it was focusing.
Focus and dedication to their craft.
Dedication to their craft.
Sure.
Which actually is one of the ingredients which make them at the level they are right now. Personally, I think just focus. They zone into their craft, and then they just make sure that they add value, they bring value to the table.
And being humble, man. Like
exactly, yeah.
Like for Shay and where he is in life and what he's doing, and being humble enough to say, yo, I'm gonna let you guys shoot me in the interview and we're gonna talk about this. For me, that was like everything.
Yeah.
You know, same with Kellet or with everybody else that we have shot with. For them, just taking their time, bro. You know, time is very important. For a person to just take the time to say, yo, let me give you an advice. Because it is podcast, obviously, at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, it's also advice on how to move in certain things and how you can take a little bit and put it in your own life and make changes and do whatever you need to do to succeed, you know. So I just thank them for being humble and just taking the time to spend with us.
That's awesome.
Sorry, can I track back?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
You know, I think to answer the other question, I need to add on to the question what the person needs.
Okay.
I just think a person needs to start from where they're at.
Yeah.
Get started in.
You know, because honestly, because I really thought about it as you were saying, I didn't have anything when I started. I just had an idea. So I started from where I was.
Sure.
And then I got to see, okay, what do I...
First step.
Yeah, first step. What do I need to do now? Okay, I have to register the company. Then you register the company. So I feel like you have to start with...
You have to start. Don't make excuses.
That's so good. Yeah.
Don't make excuses.
You can't do it. You can't do it.
Sorry, I said it.
No, that's beautiful. That's so true, man. Probably the biggest lesson I've learned in the last couple of years is just like start taking action.
Yeah.
You know, instead of like, because you can think about something for so long, like you said, you might have like a great idea, but if you don't like move on it, then it's not going to come into being. So even if it's just like being productive and getting things done, you just got to start taking action. Like as soon as the thought comes into your head, like get going with it. Yeah. So what would you guys say? Just a couple of words of advice, maybe on developing like multiple streams of income, because you guys have this fashion brand, but then you're also in the fitness industry, you're also in music, in bartending, and all sorts of things. So how do you go about, you know, a lot of people are focused in on one thing, but you guys are doing like multiple things, and that's something that I'm very interested in. So how would you go about, you know, developing those multiple streams of income?
I think that more comes off starting also with from where you are. So excuse me. And then obviously you try to venture out, because also at the end of the day, starting also in other income, starting other revenues or avenues to get money. You need most of the time maybe you might need an extra boost or capital, right?
Yeah.
So starting
and everything needs money. So
everything needs money.
It's true.
Starting off again from where you are, and then obviously try to see if you can maybe if you have extra change, maybe try and invest.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you don't have to start up something. Some of the times you just have to invest. You understand?
Some you have to save.
Some you have to save.
Yeah.
You know. So just start from where you are, and then obviously before you get into whatever you want to invest or start up, you have to research on that. Also
research.
So research. Start from where you are. Research, and then go with the.
But don't let research stop you though. Sometimes you gotta take those L's. Even though with the research you gotta take the L's and still move. You know, because other people who just look at the negative side of like, but I don't have money, so I can't start. Or I can't research, so I can't start. Or like I don't have money to do proper research, so I can't start. Sometimes if you feel like you've got an edge for something, just go for it. Go for it. You learn as you go. Obviously, be smart, be wise, make calculative decisions. Don't just, you know. But yeah,
for sure.
That's awesome. So final question, like in this these last like few years that you've been doing this, what's the biggest thing that you've learned of starting your own business and even just building yourselves up as individuals? What's the one piece of advice you would leave the young people with?
Ask questions. Yeah. Ask a lot of questions. Be humble, man. Be willing to learn. Be willing to be wrong, you know. You just have to be humble. Like if you're starting any business, obviously study, calculate, make sure that you know what you're putting yourself into, you know, and just go for it, man.
Yeah, I think you actually said it. I'm just going to add on to that. With what he said, I feel like also we need to build up discipline. Because at the end of the day, discipline is important, which is just you being able to do something knowing that whether I like it or not, it just has to be done. So if you're in a business, or you understand, or if you're doing something, you just have to do it. You know, if you're going to work, whether you like it or not, you have to pitch up for work so that you get paid. You have to perform. That's discipline instilled forcefully. Like I can't say it's like forceful, but it's a standard.
That's true.
It's a standard so that you understand.
It's like, so you can't use excuses. I don't feel like it. Like, that's not.
The company has to run.
He has to run. You understand? He has to run. So it's literally discipline. So to add on to that, discipline, stay focused, and don't afraid to fail.
Nah.
You know, it's not gonna. You just get back up. It's not gonna hurt. You're actually going to learn. You have to see from those failures, like, oh, okay, why did I fail? There's a reason for that. Okay, so it's literally a teaching for you, so that next time you know, okay, I'm not supposed to walk straight there without shoes because the nail is gonna prick me, right? So it's a lesson. So that means you have to go the other way around. So that's literally that.
Beautiful stuff. It's been such an awesome time having this conversation with you guys. So
I have a question for you, bro.
Hit me.
Doing this podcast, you do it with your mate in Namibia, right?
Yeah.
What have you learned? What have you guys learned doing this podcast?
Sure, it's been awesome, man. So Daniel and I, I forgot to mention, shame he would be with us here today, but obviously he's a few kilometers away.
Daniel, with you in spirit, man.
Yeah, no, he's here with us in spirit, like you say, man. So Daniel and I were just two guys who, you know, I think in high school we were a bit we were very shy, and you know, we didn't really have like self-confidence like that. And what inspired us to make this channel is that we sort of went on a journey of, you know, like just coming out of our shells, you know, and we had low self-esteem and all of that, and then I'd say grade 11, grade 12, we started to, you know, really like become ourselves. You know, we learned to, you know, speak out and like be confident and stand up for ourselves. You know, so we wanted to just like show other young people how they can do the same thing. You know, and how they can build themselves up. You know, you don't have to stay in this position where you are right now. You know, because at the time we weren't very happy with who we were. But then we went through like a journey of like self-growth and all of that, and we got to a point where we were like a lot happier with who we were and all that kind of stuff. So that was initially just the goal, is just to you know, educate young people on how to get their confidence and all of that sort of thing up. But what's cool is like it's evolved into like in the beginning of the channel we started talking a lot about investments. At that time, like crypto was going off, so we were doing a lot of research about that kind of stuff. And I think the biggest thing I've learned is just from like interviewing guys like yourself. We've done a few interviews with people from different streams. We interviewed people about like property, and another guy about entrepreneurship and also fitness. He was doing Kayla, who was on the podcast, she was talking all about like brain, how to like, you know, alter your brain to, you know, towards success rather than, you know, staying in the bottom. So yeah, it's just like hearing from other people, and I think also just I think marketing has been an interesting thing to learn about. Is like putting it, you know, making a brand like this idea that we had, and then okay, how are we we've got this idea of how we want to help people, but how are we going to get that out to people? So it's been cool to like play around with that, and yeah, people have really been enjoying it, and I mean, me and Daniel just enjoy it so much. This is, I think, what we are passionate about. It's just, you know, working to be better every day than who you were yesterday, and helping other people along the way to you know, lift the whole generation up. I think I was speaking to a guy the other day, and he was saying, you know, that in this generation there isn't necessarily a lot of hope. You know, it seems like people are sort of, it feels like everything's on a bit of a downward curve at the moment. But we need to like actually change that vision, like flip the script on that, and like create a vision of hope. You know, there has to be hope for the future. If there's no hope, then, you know, what is there? So we have to, like, instead of having that negative mindset of like, oh, it was better in the past, you know, we have to start saying, how can we like build for the future? So yeah, yeah, definitely.
Shout out to you, bro. Especially, like with your age, bro, and you're already doing this, bro, and your mindset is already there, bro. You got a long way to go, and I wish you all the best, bro.
Thanks so much. Yeah, no, it's been awesome to have this conversation with you guys.
Yes, sir.
So for all
Risky.
for everyone who's looking for some wonderful sportswear, some activewear, some casual wear, anything you guys need, like we were saying, where can they find you guys? How do they order? How do they get a hold of this beautiful stuff?
So you can you can order straight from our website. So it's AOPA wear, normal wear, WEAR. That's one word.com.
Wonderful. That'll be in the description for this
so
as well.
Description. Even if you go on our Instagram page, Art of Passion Apparel, our website also is also there. You can also hit us a DM there. Then you can place an order if you want.
Wonderful.
Yeah, that's literally where you can get us.
And there's some new winter stuff on the way, am I right?
Yeah, there's something cooking up. I'm not gonna say much on that. But there is something. I prefer actually showing.
Yeah,
than just telling, and then
let's keep the eyes peeled.
Yeah, so then stay tuned. You gotta stay tuned.
Follow the page. You see what's coming up.
Updates. But yeah, pretty excited.
Wonderful stuff. Hit them up, guys. Thanks so much for listening to this conversation that we've had today. Hopefully it's been of value to everyone, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Much love from Better Than Yesterday.